The old iron gates creaked, a shiver ran down my spine. St.Dymphna Asylum, a place lost to time, swallowed by the shadows of its past. I parked my truck on the gravel driveway. The tires crunched on the scattered stones. Each sound echoed in the stillness. The air grew heavy, hard to breathe. The asylum loomed before me, a gothic monstrosity, its windows, vacant eyes staring into my soul. What had I gotten myself into? There was no turning back. The air inside was thick with dust and decay. The smell of mildew stung my nostrils. The floorboards groaned under my weight. Each step a reminder of the building's fragility. Shadows danced on the walls, twisted by the moonlight filtering through broken windows. I felt a presence, a coldness that seeped into my bones. Whispers seemed to emanate from the walls, tormented voices from a forgotten past, or was it my imagination, playing tricks on me in this haunted place? The asylum's library was once grand. Now books lay scattered, rotting in the dampness. I brushed the dust off a leather-bound journal. Dr. E.L. Morrow, it read, the asylum's chief physician. His entries were disturbing. Experiments, treatments, the forgotten souls trapped within these walls. His words painted a picture of unimaginable horror. One entry mentioned a locked wing. The forgotten wing, he called it. Home to the asylum's most dangerous patients. Patients he called experiments. I found the corridor leading to the forgotten wing, hidden behind a tapestry, as if the asylum itself wanted it concealed. A shiver ran down my spine. I was crossing a line. The air grew colder. The smell of decay intensified. Footsteps echoed in the silence, but they weren't mine. Someone or something was watching me. At the end of the corridor, a heavy door, iron bars, padlocked. This was the entrance to the forgotten wing. Section 5. The Forgotten Wing. The lock was old, rusted. It gave way with a groan. The heavy door creaked open. The forgotten wing. A place time had forgotten. The stench was overpowering, years of neglect, suffering, the air was thick with it. I choked on the dust, on the horror that permeated every inch of this place. Rooms lined the hallway, each one a cell, some still contained restraints. Leather straps rotted and torn. The patients here were not meant to leave, ever. Section 6. The Silent One. Dr. Morrow's journal mentioned a patient, the silent one, a young woman. Never spoke. Her room, he wrote, was at the end of the hall. I walked towards it, each step heavier than the last. The door was ajar. The room was bare except for a single bed and a child's doll lying on the floor. Its porcelain face cracked, staring at me with empty eyes. I felt a cold hand on my shoulder. I spun around. No one. But the air grew colder and the doll's head had turned. It was now facing me. Section 7. A presence revealed. The hair on the back of my neck stood on end. I was not alone. I could feel it. Something was here, watching me, toying with me. A shadow moved in the doorway. A figure, tall, gaunt. Its eyes glowed with an unnatural light. The silent one, or something far more sinister? I stumbled back. Fear gripped my throat. I had to get out, escape this nightmare. But the figure moved towards me, slowly, deliberately. I turned and ran. My heart pounded in my chest. Footsteps echoed behind me, getting closer. The floor tilted and swayed. The asylum itself seemed to be against me. I could hear its ragged breathing, smell the decay that clung to it. The journal. Dr. Morrow's words, he knew. He warned us, the exit. Where was the exit? I was lost in a maze of corridors. The shadows seemed to reach out, trying to grab me, pull me back into the darkness. Section 9. No escape. I slammed against a wall. Dead end. I spun around. The figure stood before me. Its eyes burned into my soul. There was nowhere left to run. It reached out, a cold, skeletal hand. Its touch sent chills down my spine. I screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the asylum walls. The last thing I remember was the darkness, enveloping me, pulling me down into the abyss, into the forgotten halls of St. Dymphna.